Everyone says your starting class doesn't matter, which is true from a certain point of view. In this guide, we're breaking down every starting class in Elden Ring, not just by stats, but by what they actually offer you, their strengths, their weaknesses, and the kind of playstyle they naturally put you toward. Whether you're looking for optimization, experimentation, or just trying to find the class that feels right, this will help you choose your path forward in the land between. But before we do that, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment with your favorite starting class in Elden Ring. Let's get started. The Astrologer is Elden Ring's primary sorcery-focused class, built around high intelligence and mind for powerful magic attacks. Starting with the Astrologer staff and a short sword, you would seem preordained to cast spells first and enter combat second. Glintstone Pebble and Glintstone Arc are your starting spells, the first one being one of the most FP efficient spells in the entire game, and will stay on the spell loadout for even the highest order of sorcerers. Focusing on the intelligence stat is the prime choice for this class, and gives access to the strongest staves and sorceries alongside a powerful melee weapon, the Glintstone Kriss. Taking this approach makes the Astrologer the best class to follow in the footsteps of Sorceress Sellen, the Ice Witch Ranni, and even Rennala, Queen of the Full Moon. Following Ranni's questline naturally progresses this build path, and can be started before fighting any major bosses, but requires defeating Star Scourge Radahn and Rennala to really make it pop. You can pick up the Astrologer set from a merchant at the Liurnia Lakeshore Site of Grace. The Bandit starting class focuses on Dexterity and Arcane, and without any change to starting stats, has access to the powerful Reduvia Dagger, a weapon that can realistically carry you all the way to the endgame. You can also opt to either raise your strength stat to 12 or simply two-hand to bypass the strength requirement and use the ever-popular Eleonora's Pull Blade and Rivers of Blood as a natural progression of Reduvia. Maybe poison is your cup of tea, in which case the Venomous Fang is also primed for the Bandit without any stat investment. It can be infused with various Ashes of War to increase its poison buildup, or even layered with additional status effects like Bleed or Frostbite for a very potent build. Perhaps you want a boss build, you say? The optimal choice for the Bandit is Morgott the Omen King. His weapon, Morgott's Cursed Sword, requires 14 strength, a massive 35 dexterity, and 17 arcane. A heavy investment, to be sure, but if you're focusing on the Bandit's strengths, the Morgott's Cursed Sword is a weapon that will slot in naturally as you level up and will reward you with style and blood. If you want the Bandit look, the Bandit mask can be purchased at the merchant in Limgrave just past the Saints Bridge for 1500 runes, with the remainder of the set being purchased from Gostock in Stormvale Castle for 4500 runes. The Confessor, a fallen priest and in my opinion King of Drip starting class, is a good all-rounder pick. Starting with a broadsword, a shield, and a seal alongside a faith stat of 14, your first instinct might be to build a spell blade, focusing on incantations and buffs. If going this route, investing heavily in faith will give you access to a variety of damage types, and maintaining the starting strength and dexterity stats give you access to the Golden Epitaph, a powerful holy weapon that perfectly fits the Fallen Priest theme and gains power from your faith stat. Having a jack-of-all-trades stat spread actually has its niche uses, and investing evenly in faith and intelligence makes this class primed to wield the Sword of Night and Flame, an extremely powerful weapon. Taking this path will give you access to not only Death Sorcery and Golden Order incantations, but also niche boss spells like Rykard's Rancor and Vortex of Putrescence, the latter being DLC exclusive. If you're looking for the Confessor's outfit, you can purchase it from a merchant on Mount Gelmir for 4500 runes. A champion of the Badlands, the hero is one of my favorite starting classes for its stat spread and the bosses you can emulate. Possessing the low dexterity stat of 9, this class begs for us to invest in strength and arcane alone. The Rusted Anchor is a popular mean weapon, but extremely powerful and can be infused, while only requiring our very specific 9 dex. The Battle Hammer and Rotten Battle Hammer, the first farmed in Lanedale and the second a guaranteed drop in the Consecrated Snowfield, both fit our dex restriction, and let this class easily roleplay as Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. This class really shines as a dual boss cosplayer, by reaching 24 strength and 14 dexterity while maximizing the arcane stat to embody Elmer of the Briar with the Marias Executioner's Sword and Moog, Lord of Blood, with the Mogwin Sacred Spear. These builds will absolutely shred every boss you come across, and the stat spread means you can freely change between them for enemies that can't bleed. If you want to save those 5 stat points in dexterity, you can still achieve the required stats by using the Millicent's Prosthesis Talisman. This is especially ideal for the Marias Executioner's Sword, as it provides 5 dex points in addition to bonus damage upon successive attacks. To get the Champion's Garb, you can purchase the full set from a merchant in southern Caelid for 3,600 runes. The Prisoner is the premier Spellblade class of Elden Ring, and that can be seen in the starting gear, with an S-Stock and the Magic Gimlet Blade spell. The Dexterity and Intelligence playstyle combines the speed of melee fighters with the power of sorcery, creating a hybrid style that channels directly into powerful boss builds, using the Death's Poker to emulate Deathrite birds, in addition to the Wing of Astel and Bastard Stars, to masquerade as the otherworldly alien Astel, natural born of the void. The natural evolution of this class is going into the Moonveil Katana. This magical blade shows its power through its Ash of War, Transient Moonlight, an attack that punishes enemies both near and far. It also has innate blood loss, giving it strength in and out of FP use. Combine this weapon with other Glintblade sorceries, like Glintblade Phalanx, or even a shield with Carrying Retaliation to nullify enemy spells, and you will become a truly formidable opponent. If you want the Prisoner set, you can purchase it from the Ainsel River Merchant for 3,500 runes. This is without a doubt my favorite class. Starting with a short spear and finger seal, the Prophet is primed for being a faith purist or a Dragon Communion cultist, specializing in faith and arcane. If walking the path of the devout, the Cypher Pata in the Round Table Hold is your best early game weapon, naturally evolving to the Coded Sword once you reach Landel, both of which scale solely with faith. For casting, the finger seal you start with will service you well until you reach more than 60 faith, at which point the Erd Tree seal in Volcano Manor will become one of the strongest seals available. If you choose to walk the path of heresy, investing in both faith and arcane will turn you into a true force of nature. The Dragon Communion seal will be your weapon of choice, found in the Fringefolk hero's grave at the start of the game. This path will grant you access to all damage types, channeling the power of Consumed Dragonheart to obliterate your opponent with fire, magic, frost, scarlet rot, and physical manifestations of dragons. You also gain the ability to cast Blood Oath incantations, powerful spells that rend your opponent's life from their bodies. 28 faith while maximizing arcane turns your seal into pure power, while hitting a stat benchmark for all the Dragon Communion spells and arguably the strongest single incantation in the game, Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. I may be showing some bias here. I love this path. Your melee options here will largely consist of arcane-infused fist weapons, while if you put your strength to 14 and access the DLC, you can wield the powerful Flowerstone Gavel to gain a melee weapon boasting Red Lightning. Whether you want to access all the most flashy incantations, or if you want to emulate Bale the Dread and Dragon Lord Placidusax, this is the class for you. To get the Prophet class's armor, you can purchase it from the Merchant Shack just inside Lanedel's walls in Altus Plateau. Let's be honest, you picked this class because you're an anime nerd, and we are going to embrace it. This build is all about dexterity, and you start with one of the best weapons in the game, the Uchigatana. Dexterity means speed, and nothing is faster than lightning. Already scaling with dexterity on infusions, lightning weapons are within easy reach of the samurai. Top tier options being the Bolt of Grandsax and Dragon King's Cragblade, with the Dragon Scale Blade offering a unique ice lightning buff to truly chill your foes to the bone. If staying solely dexterity, the DLC offers you the Sword of Night and Claws of Night, both being extremely viable and absolutely dripping with anime energy. Of course, you can also cosplay as one of the baddest bosses in gaming history, Melania, Blade of Mikola. The samurai outfit can be purchased from the isolated Merchant Shack in Northwest Caelid for 5,500 runes. Welcome to the Premier Boss Emulator class. Armed with a halberd, sword, and shield, the Vagabond already leans toward versatility, and is all about how you choose to build it. If you stay at 13 dexterity and choose strength and faith, you have access to all 3 Crucible Knight weapons and can become Malekith, the Black Blade. Choose Strength and Intelligence, and you can wield the Dark Moon Greatsword alongside a slew of gravity options, including the Falling Star Beastjaw, Ruin's Greatsword, and even allows you to take on the role of Star Scourge Radon. On the flip side, if restricting Strength to 14 while leveling Dexterity and Faith, you can embody Mesmer the Impaler, emo flamboy and poster child of the DLC. If you want some investment to strength and dexterity while focusing on faith, You gain access to the Godslayer's Greatsword, the Euphoria, and arguably the best weapon in the entirety of Elden Ring, the Blasphemous Blade. The Vagabond isn't just the starting class with the highest vigor. It is the most malleable of all the starting classes and can effectively wield the most boss-themed weapons through a simple respec. If you want the most varied Elden Ring experience and access to the largest cache of weapons, the Vagabond stands above the rest. If you want the Vagabond armor set, go to the merchant in the mountaintops of the Giants and purchase it for 4,500 runes. The warrior starts with two important things: fashion and dual scimitars. If you are looking for any kind of stat optimization, it's not here, but you will find a learning tool. What the warrior class excels in is teaching players how to dual wield weapons early on. It teaches spacing, stamina drain, and commitment versus reward. With no strict stat breakpoints, you can take this build in various directions, but it will always do best when it leans into what it started as, an aggressive dual-wielding dexterity class. If you want the warrior set without the class, you can purchase it from the merchant at Ray Lucaria for 4,500 runes. The Wretch embodies two schools of thought. You picked this because you want to play the game at level 1, or you picked this because it has the most even stats. If you're in the first group, it's a perfectly viable option. If you're in the second group, you're on the right track but will never have true stat optimization. Armed with nothing but a club and a dream, this is the class to pick if you don't have a clear direction of what you want your build to be. But if you're watching this video, hopefully this helped you choose a path that fits you better. So, what's the verdict? Does your starting class actually matter? Absolutely! Maybe. At the end of the day, every class in Elden Ring can become anything, but not every class feels the same along the way. The best class isn't the one with the highest stats. It's the one that fits how you want to experience the game. So whether you choose power, flexibility, mastery, or a blank slate, just choose your path and let the lands between handle the rest. Thanks for watching my video, and boy howdy, do me a favor and smash that like button and click one of the videos on screen for more content. Stay strong, Tarnished.